Alright, Marhawkman here. I did a video about this earlier, which I decided that I needed to improve, so I'm doing it again. Anyways, this is a build that I would personally characterize as a simple version. Well, okay, a, a somewhat elaborate version of a build that you can start out very simply working with as a low-level character and just slowly, tweak as your character gets higher level and add things to it to spice things up a bit after you get to a high level. Like, for example, traits. The build I'm using, most of these traits are things that you can get as soon as you start playing the game. The only two that actually take any real time to acquire are Technophile and Penetrating Rounds. You don't really need Penetrating Rounds, but this build does spend a lot of time shooting at things with your regular weapon, so having that is good. Also, that's also why I have several of these involve ranged weapon damage bonuses. It improves the weapon damage, which for this build you place your turrets and then you stand around shooting at things, and that's a large part of what you're going to spend your time doing in combat. So, which kit modules am I using? If I remember correctly, a basic beam turret is the first thing the game gives you in the tutorial as an engineer. This is the improved version that you can get from the Romulan Embassy, which is pretty cheap, it and the kit frame. The kit frame, there's better kit frames, probably, but I've been using this one on this character for so long that I just don't feel like changing it right now. And it came with this thing. This is actually probably the best true beam turret in the game, because of the fact that while there are a lot of other turrets that are better, more or less, this one is the only actually triggers duty officers that give you bonus beam turrets, even though I'm not using this. These are relatively expensive duty officers that increase your basic ranged weapon damage. You can see their effect in the tooltip here. But since they're expensive, you might want to go with the duty officer for giving you bonus beam turrets instead. Or you could, since this is something that's a crafted kit module, and also, to my knowledge, something you can't use below level 50? It's either 50 or 40. You just can't use this below level 50 or 40. You could use a generic medical generator, but those are rather fragile, and a lot of the time enemies will just target them because, like, oh, that thing's healing you, I'm going to go kill it now. Yeah, that happens. One thing you could do is use shield recharge. Very fast to apply, and it gives you a pretty hefty bonus. I know, this says only 192 shield regeneration, but that's the Mark II version. I realized when I was looking at this that I didn't actually have a Mark 15 version, so I can't show you what that does. But 36% shield resistance is pretty good, and the shield regeneration on the fully statted out version of it is pretty close to a full shield heal. And it's something that you just like click it and boom, you have shields now. Other things, mortars. Mortars are one of the best turret things because of the fact that they don't need line of sight. That is huge because of the fact that they can kill enemies that are hiding behind walls or stuck inside walls, or you see where this is going, a lot of things. Also, they have very good range, and having this guy to give you bonus quantum mortars, great. This is a Bajoran, but which you have to. I got by doing a duty officer assignment chain in the Alpha Quadrant, but you can actually recruit as basic academy recruiting duty officers with any of these 4 abilities. So they're not actually all that hard to get, although purple quality ones, if you're just going to buy them off the exchange, are going to run you a little bit of money because they're purple quality. And people actually use these. These are more expensive, but that's because they're not something you can get from Academy recruiting. This isn't a comp and this is a Kazon. They come from a Delta Quadrant specific duty officer pack that I think you can buy it in the Z store. It's not a lockbox thing, but even so, it's not free. You can get them on the exchange, but they're more expensive than stuff like this. Okay, this is a Seeker Drone. This is something that I like to use in this because you tap it to summon it, then you place one of these. And I have a trait here that gives me a rather large kit performance bonus each time I use a kit module. So you see the damage here, 1293. I activate this, suddenly the damage jumps up to over 1400. That was an increase of about 130 damage to this. And while the kit performance bonus only lasts for 8 seconds, if I place the turret while I have that bonus active, the extra damage stays on the turret until the turret gets destroyed. Or the... I'm not sure if these actually time out, but anyways, as long as the turret lasts, it keeps the bonus damage. The other thing here is like I have this nurse because Pavan Healing Crystal will actually trigger the nurse duty officers, and it works for everyone on your team, so it's a pretty good team heal. Also, 23.9 hit points every 1 second for 15 seconds. If you do the math on that, it's over 300 hit points total healing. So that's actually about half of my health. And that's applied to everyone on the team. And that's assuming it doesn't give you a medic to heal you even more. So, quite good. The weapon I'm using is not something that you really need as part of the build, but bonus kit performance as a weapon proc, hey, it's great. Also, I'm using a split beam rifle because of the fact that it has a short firing cycle, which means I fire it more often and thus have a higher number of chances to trigger the kit performance bonus. Let's see here. Also, on the encounter command, while you don't need it, it doesn't actually like make the build better. One thing I am doing with it in here that is somewhat tricky in terms of understanding why it works and how it works is this actually gives you a dodge bonus. I am running the Intel tree, which also gives you a dodge bonus on ground. Those stack. So I actually have something like 35% bonus dodge chance. Which means that anytime I will just like randomly take half damage from an enemy attack. Very useful. Melee weapon, I like using this because of an AI trick where you can force an enemy to hold still by engaging them in melee combat. Not always useful, but some of the time it is. Only some of the time. And also, this can be a good way to deal with enemies that like to get close to you, is that they want to get close to you, fine, stay close to them. Just the pointy way. Other than that, don't really need this. Also, I don't really have a specific reason for this specific sword, other than it looks cool. Alright. Why the Photonic Barrier Generator? This is a reputation kit module from the Iconian rep. Which, oh yeah, also, this neutronic kit module, Delta rep. You can use a standard quantum mortar, though, or a photon grenade launcher if you're a TOS character. Both of those work great for this slot here. This is something that adds a third layer to your character's defenses, which is like a secondary HP pool that goes between your shields and your actual hit points. So, enemy depletes your shields, depletes the temporary HP pool you get from this, which resets every 3 seconds. So they have to go through your temporary hit points within 3 seconds, or they won't actually do any real damage to you. Really good. It's one of those things, yeah, you have to be careful not to stand too close to it, because enemies like to use AoEs, and the AoE might hit this and break it, and you don't want that to happen. Other than that, though, that's pretty much it. See, because what the traits I have here, most of them are simple kit performance bonuses. Simple, good. Nanomolecular Architect is one that you really want to have as someone who's going to focus on fabrication, so because of the fact that anything that you place will have damage resistance and will regenerate. Here's the thing. By default, turrets and mortars don't regenerate. This is something where if you are a different character class, like, well, science or tactical, and you use one of the universal kit modules, you can't use this because this is an engineer-specific trait, and thus, as a science or tactical officer, you're never going to have this unless you use some other ability to give you the same thing. My grand rep traits, it's all just stuff like bonus weapon damage, heal harder, or move faster. None of it's anything particularly special. Just, it's like ranged weapon damage, damage resistance. Then there's this, which gives you a kit performance bonus. And this is a really big one, but it's something that you're going to have to do a lot of grinding to get. So, anyways, though. Oh yeah, the one other thing with this that's really interesting is this thing that says bonus damage with equipment diagnostics. I don't have that in my build. However, summoning a support drone, the support drone will have equipment diagnostic as one of these support drone powers. And the support drone will benefit from the duty officer that does this. So this will actually increase your range damage because the support drone used equipment diagnostics on you. Very useful to have. And like I said, is that with this build, you place your turrets and then you stand around shooting things until the things are dead. Or you have to place more turrets because the turrets got blown up. So you're going to spend a lot of time using this sort of thing with your build. Alrighty then. Well, I hope you guys find that to be useful. Oh, also, if you are just starting out and you don't have one of these because you're a low-level character or you just don't have one, you can use one of these instead. There's also a duty officer that will have like a percentage chance of giving you a massive damage resistance bonus from using this, which I've used it on some other characters, and it makes a very good replacement for this because, well, I mean, that's a lot of damage resistance. Even if you're just using the basic kit module, 36% resistance to damage is quite a lot. Alrighty then. Well, I hope you guys find this to be useful to know.